Hi, I'm Stephen Ferrugia, the founder and CEO of ShareTree, and I'm going to give you a quick insight into what's called Culture Connect. And this is a digital technology unlike ever seen before that can supercharge your cultures and put them into a state of thriving connection so that you can get the best results out of your team's performance and well-being. Culture Connect is made up of 4 key aspects. The primary aspect is to give you monthly leadership insights to make sure that you've got exactly the right blend of leaders and the right activity and engagement from leaders to ensure that your team culture is thriving and heading in the direction that you've set out for your strategy. The second aspect is what's called monthly group culture reporting. Now this gives you general reporting about the whole team's culture and the living values and how they align to the aspirational values of your organisation. Now having these key insights can help steer leadership strategy from month-to-month basis instead of doing an annual engagement survey. The third aspect is called AI-assisted connections. So using the power of technology fused with the beauty of people, it helps facilitate connections between your team. So if I have a team member in my team, let's call them Bob, and I'm not yet in connection with Bob, AI will facilitate a connection to Bob and myself and say, hey Stephen, is there something authentically inspiring about Bob that you can acknowledge in his character strength? At some stage, I will respond to that authentically, and it will create a reciprocity resonance through the culture that starts a thriving culture of gratitude based on character acknowledgements. The last part that's coming soon is highlighting the character strengths leaders of every branch of the culture tree. And this will link into the mentorship program that allows your leaders to be able to connect to whoever is the strongest character in a certain aspect of character. And then they can mimic and replicate that if they seek to build those character strengths within themselves. These are the leadership insights that all of the culture leaders and administrators will receive every month. We'll give them a dashboard about the activity that's going on between them as the leaders leading the culture and the team's response to the culture. It will show them whether the team effectiveness is in the right ratio by understanding firstly whether you've picked the right number of leaders, whether those leaders are active in their number of acknowledgements and also active in their reach across the team so that they can acknowledge people on a broad basis. Lastly, we'll give you a summary of the entire team's activity so you can look out to make sure that people are engaged and there is good mental health and well-being operating within the team, and there's a level of connection between people through authentic connections of character acknowledgement. So here is the group culture monthly reporting that will be received by every culture leader and administrator in your team. It gives them a clear insight on the dashboard about the activity that's going on and the trend and direction of that team's activity. Next, it will show you the 6 months history of your team's activity in relationship between the leaders and the team members and the overall trend of your team and whether you're on track for what we know to be a thriving culture's activity of interaction based on acknowledgements to each other. You will also see here, based on your aspirational culture values, whether you're in alignment in blue compared to the green aspect, which is the living values of your team based on the organic acknowledgements your team have expressed to each other for character strengths in action. It will explain to you whether you have a balance between moral aspects and performance aspects as you have strategized, and it will show you on a month-to-month basis where your culture is heading based on the leadership activity that they engage with the team. Understanding where you're heading will give you good leading indicators to know whether your culture is heading in the right direction to your strategy. Now, this is a more powerful way than doing annual team culture engagement surveys, and it describes whether your values are living and real as opposed to just being up on the wall. The last part here will be for your team, so you can present in monthly meetings to acknowledge those that are contributing to the culture most in terms of words of affirmation and acknowledgements of the team, and also acts of service and those that are contributing to a culture in action. So these are the people sending the acknowledgements most. These are the people that are receiving the acknowledgements most. Both are very important parts to your culture. Lastly, it will give you a summary of who your culture strength branch leaders are in the team for your mentorship program, so that those that seek to cultivate character strengths in a certain area of character know who are exemplifying it based on real actions and activities going on in the team. The very last part is it will highlight who from month to month is living the values of your team most for that month based on acknowledgements they've received, both energetically for the groups and also specific to the character traits that you've selected. So that's all for me from today. Hope that gives you a clear insight about what you can expect as the incredible value packaged up within the Culture Connect package. So we look forward to helping you have your culture thriving and resonating based on gratitude and character growth.